So, I suppose, in a sentence or two, what does culture really mean to you? Your way.
You're asking all the easy questions today, then, James. So, culture, right?
This is the easy one because I'm going to try not to interrupt. So, what does it mean?
Yeah, look, great. I mean, good question. I mean, I would see it as it's the sort of the glue that binds an organisation. It's the common factor. And you could maybe look at it as maybe habits or patterns of behaviour that define the organisation, and I guess importantly make it different to its peer group. I think particularly in founder-owned businesses, you can certainly influence culture top down.
Yeah.
I think for culture to be genuine, it needs to be espoused from bottom up, and people need to feel a sense of common identity. It relates to them. I can understand this culture, and I think if you can get to that level, most companies do have it in some degree, then it starts to come across in the language and the artifacts of the business. You kind of hear and different people speak to each other in a common way. They frame risk in a common way. They treat each other in a way that is different. And certainly, I say I've been here for a long time. We've been through a couple of big mergers in that period, and I can see different cultural elements. And certainly, when new people join the business, they tell us that they can identify Cushman's culture as being different from maybe where they've come from, and usually in a good way. So that's really helpful for us to hear. I think culture done wrong can be a really bad thing, right? I think culture is not necessarily a good thing. Culture can be really divisive if it's not in the right place, and it can be relative to what we're talking about. It can be a huge barrier to innovation if you get it wrong. And I think the other thing is unlike business process and technology, you can't change culture very quickly. It's got a high inertia. So it's probably, I think I like the fact you've asked that question first, because it probably underpins everything else, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and I mean, in a study that we did earlier this year, one of the recommendations that we've actually put together for the industry to take on is that you have to make culture the number one priority as you go through a digital transformation shift. Because if you don't bring people along on that journey and instigate your values correctly and have that strong leadership built around culture, it's never going to go anywhere. So I would agree wholeheartedly with statements made.